gun violence. Night shift crew that handled these incidents, directed by Lieutenant John Harwell. They did an excellent job in managing these crime scenes within a short period of time and calling out the proper resources. And I would like to thank the Detective Bureau also for their immediate response. But as I stated, we had 4 different scenes, and I'm going to take these scenes and these incidents in chronological order so you can understand what these officers face this weekend. Basically Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, beginning between the hours approximately 3:50 a.m. to 5 o'clock a.m. The first incident occurred at approximately 3:50 a.m. at a residence located at 630 West Stewart Street. We described this incident as domestic in nature, which had 3 victims. Victim number 1 was a 45-year-old female. She was pronounced deceased at the scene. Victim number 2 was a 34-year-old female who's listed in critical condition at this time. And victim number 3, a 56-year-old male, also listed in critical condition. All were transported by EMS to Hurley Medical Center to receive treatment. Right now, the incident is still currently under investigation. And basically, this started over a verbal argument between 2 family members, cousins. That's the victim offender relationship. They were cousins. And again, that occurred approximately 3:50 a.m. Any questions for that scene?
Anyone in custody?
No, not at this time.
Do you believe, like, were any of the victims ones who fired any shots? Or?
Yes. Yes, they were. As I stated, it's still sketchy. We're still trying to sort it out. We're looking for additional witnesses for this case that will put things in perspective once individuals start talking. As I stated, these are family members, and this is an ongoing investigation. Incident number 2 occurred approximately 3:59 a.m. This location was Pasadena and Industrial, the city of Flint. This location happened to be a location where we've had issues in the past where we have large gatherings. The actual building that that normally would be open at this time, we took some enforcement action approximately a year ago to stop them from operating, to stop these large gatherings, but the individuals continue to gather there in the wee hours of the morning. So this, we believe, what caused this. We believe individuals decide to carry out grudges against one another, and that caused these victims. There's approximately 5 victims from this scene. 5 victims. Some of the victims weren't the intended target of the gunshots, but we had 5 victims. Number 1 was I believe this was an intended target. He's a 25-year-old male. He was a fatality. Number two, 23-year-old male, listed in critical condition initially. Number three, a 21-year-old male, listed in critical condition. Number four is a 22-year-old female, also listed in critical condition. So this incident, as I stated, we believe is related, ongoing feud between two groups, but that's also still an ongoing investigation. So the third location, the scene, is related to the second scene. And let me put this in perspective for you. So when the shots were fired at Pasadena and Industrial, other bystanders fled. They fled north on Industrial towards Carton. Upon reaching Carton and Industrial, we believe is being investigated as a road rage incident. During this road rage incident, a vehicle was fired into by the suspect, who then fled the scene. And right now, again, that situation is still under investigation, but we definitely, the fact is that they were fleeing from shots fired at Pasadena and Industrial and ended up at Carton Industrial where additional shots were fired. And we're investigating this as two separate scenes. The fourth scene occurred approximately 5:00 a.m. at 2905 North Saginaw, Marathon gas station. The victim in this shooting was a 41-year-old male listed in critical condition. We believe this case is also related to Carton and Industrial, the road rage incident. Again, this is still under investigation also. But as you can see, within that hour span, we had all these officers had to deal with all these shootings, 4 different crime scenes, and managing those crime scenes. So as I stated, it was chaotic initially. And this investigation, the crime scene investigation, continued till the following afternoon, evening. Scenes being processed, witnesses being located, conditions being gathered for those involved and those that suffer from gunshot wounds. Let me mention also, there were individuals that showed up to hospitals in private-owned vehicles. They were transported by private-owned vehicles. So the list as far as victims continue to grow, and we didn't get that information until a later time. So, but all these incidents are still under investigation. There's a lot of work to be done by the detectives, and but I have no doubt these cases will be solved. We have some of the best detectives within the state of Michigan is going to investigate and solve these crimes. I have no doubt about that, and I'm confident in their abilities. But this is just a heated moment, and where things went haywire, and the officers that responded were overwhelmed within a very short period of time for basically 3 critical incidents. I open up for questions. Go ahead.
Were all of these victims taken to Hurley Medical Center?
Yeah, some Hurley, others McLaren.
I may have lost count. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay, you go ahead.
I lost count of that second incident. I thought you said 5 victims. I said 4 ages.
Yeah.
Just one.
So we have you mean the second incident?
Second incident.
We have a 25-year-old male that was a fatality.
Yeah.
We have a 23-year-old male, critical condition, 21-year-old male, critical condition, 22-year-old female, critical condition, and a 30-year-old male. Condition.
Critical.
Yes.
For that second scene on Pasadena, would you describe that as like an after hours club or?
Initially it was, but as I stated, Detective Sergeant responsible for liquor license control approximately a year ago had some enforcement and shut that. To our understanding that the business wasn't open at that time of this incident. It hasn't been open for a year or so, where they're not supposed to be open.
Yeah, when you already, have this enforcement to shut it down, and, at this point, is there any further action that you can take?
Well, yeah, so if we continue to receive reports that they're active and operating outside of what the administrative judge has ruled, then we continue the investigation and we try to padlock them permanently.
Have you received any other reports other than this one since it's closed?
We received some information, yes, that they might still be operating.
And with there being so many scenes in such a short period of time, can you talk about, the impact maybe that has on your staffing or on your officers?
So it was what I would describe as a horrible strain on our resources last night. I mean, that night, early morning hours. And that's why I give them a lot of credit to the staff that was working that night, Lieutenant Harwell and his sergeants and officers. They did an excellent job. But it was, I would describe it as overwhelming.
And I know that previously the department has had numbers on its website. I haven't been able to access that, but would you say that gun violence overall in the city is up, down?
I've seen an uptick. I think it's increased. Yes.
Is there anything in particular you can attribute it to, or they all have their own story?
Yeah, they all have their own story. So you see the incident at 630 West Stewart, that's domestic related. The Pasadena Industrial, rivalries going at one another. Road rage at Cardin and Industrial, unintended, but it ended in gunfire in 2905 North Saginaw, still under investigation as far as that's a bizarre incident. But yeah, each one has their own story.
Obviously, everyone wants to know the answer to gun violence, but is there any preventative measures maybe that your department will be taking, especially this upcoming weekend?
Well, especially this upcoming weekend, and until we've already initiated some hotspot policing, things of that nature, especially for these large gatherings. That's why we reactivated full capacity our special investigative unit. That's one of their primary responsibilities, but they've been tied up, the nonsense in city council chambers. But we're going to reallocate those resources for hotspot policing, large gatherings, and specifically this location, Industrial in Pasadena. Well, we're going to get that out there, and we're going to put it on our Facebook posting that we're saying large gatherings won't be tolerated. And this is the reason why. There'll be zero tolerance for all of our efforts. We will be impounding vehicles. We will be initiating traffic stops. We'll be clearing these locations out. So, this is what happens when, you have an incident like this. The Pasadena and Industrial incident, it could be, categorized as a mass shooting. How many victims we had. So we've already been proactive in our response. Like I stated, we've started this a year ago, but there's always, a group that's going to, push the envelope, and we're going to push back and be more consistent and be just as stubborn as they are.
Is there anything you would say to people? I know you talked about witnesses and stuff. Is there anything you would say to people who maybe saw this happen? And I know there's this fear of being a snitch or a stigma. So is there anything you would say to encourage them to speak up?
Yeah, well, we specifically the Pasadena Industrial and Cardin Industrial, we know there are witnesses to these incidents. And we ask anyone that witnessed this to come forward. And the way, think of it if it's someone in your family. There was an innocent bystander that got struck by a stray bullet. And a lot of victims and during these incidents occurred. So if you have any information, think of it as someone in your family. Think of it as you as a victim, and come forward with an information. We can keep it confidential, but we basically looking for someone to point us in the right direction.
I'll go back to the one shooting, road rage shooting. Was there a victim, like somebody that was shot in there?
Yes,
There was.
yes.
Okay,
I don't have the ages and because the Pasadena and Industrial and Cardin and Industrial, where the road rage occurred, we believe those victims were combined. Because when the car initially went out, we just knew we had a incidents at Pasadena and Cardin Industrial was discovered later.
So I've got 9 right now, 9 shooting victims.
Yeah, and then, as I stated, there were people that arrived at hospitals, private-owned vehicles also.
And it's Monday now, of course, we were getting flooded with phone calls, why are we talking about this?
Mhm.
We were hearing all kinds of stories. Was there a desire, or was it, you just couldn't get anything out yesterday to try to explain to anybody what was going on?
No, as I stated, the detectives who are standing before me now, they were here investigating until yesterday around in the evening hours. I don't know if they went home, but it was so much sketchy information. All of this stuff had to be put together. And I would rather, I was receiving calls also. I'd rather give accurate and thorough information than information that is not accurate or not. Because I stated, we still, I was advised of another victim this morning from this incident. So, and there could be more. It could be people out there that were victims or struck by gun violence that didn't report it. So that's the reason why.
This was unusual in the number, but can you address the department's capacity to be able to handle a situation like this? Are you staffed well enough to be able to respond when you get something?
Well, with a situation like this, the more the merrier. I mean, more officers we have. But it was a strain. I would say it was a strain on our resources for the staffing we have. Our staffing has elevated since 2 or 3 years ago. So we have more officers now than we did then. But still, when you're talking about 4 different crime scenes within an hour span, and you're talking about the time of the morning, we talking about 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. Resources are scarce. Officers already been working, going on 12 hours. It was just basically, it was overwhelming to them, but they managed it. I'm proud how they managed it. That night shift crew managed it, and they did a great job.
So you said there's overall been an uptick in gun violence in the city. Do you have any statistics on how sizable this increase has been?
No, I don't have the accurate statistics, but I'm just going by the reports I receive, and we do our statistics bi-weekly. So specifically what occurred Sunday morning, I would say, yes, there is an increase based on the number of victims we had. All right. Thanks.